I don't wear underwear.
That being said, welcome to Middle-Aged
Are we
and
going?
Mediocre. We're going, buddy.
You and your weak underwear game.
My weak underwear game. This is episode 13.
Yep.
So that's a special one.
Here we
For
are.
some reason. Here we are. Second episode with two mics.
Two mics.
Yeah.
First
Just in
one
case anybody
sounded
forgot.
really good.
Yeah. Sounded way better than when we used to sound like we were in completely opposite rooms.
Where I was yelling and you were whispering.
Right. Or I was yelling and you were whispering.
Yeah.
Like. So.
It's better.
Now, two mics.
Two mics. Middle-aged, mediocre, and two mics.
And that's the podcast, folks.
And
Just wanna
murders.
remind you guys.
Yep.
No, we got all kinds of murder to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So we got we're gonna talk about the Aaron Hernandez murder,
Him gay.
and then
You know why I
I
said
don't know why you
that.
said that, and then I've got a somewhat local murder.
Ooh.
Not local, but
Okay.
within West Virginia.
On the world.
It's local in the world.
Okay.
To talk about, and then you have.
It's not Star Wars. You're not going to try to like sneak a Star Wars plot by me.
I might try.
You probably could.
I
I'm
mean,
like, how tall is this Yoda guy? I'm like, all right, I guess it's England.
it's not that Yoda. It's different Yoda. And you said that you wanted to.
I have a
kick this
very
thing off.
local murder.
Okay.
I killed a mini bag of sour cream and onion chips on the way over here. And a pepperoni roll. And that's the West Virginia State dinner. And I just wanted to share that little
What
piece
kind of chips?
Sour cream and onion. And a pepperoni roll.
Did you have a Mountain Dew with it?
No, I had water. I'm not trying to be a complete asshole.
You didn't quite have the full
I
meal.
know,
Then.
yeah.
You gotta have pepperoni roll,
But
chips,
man,
and
I ate those chips like someone might say maybe it was distracted driving, but I've probably never paid more attention because I didn't want to die until those chips were gone. Like when they were gone, I thought about just driving off the road, but I was at your house. I was like, oh, well, I might as well
might as well
in.
do this podcast.
Yeah.
So after this,
After maybe.
right?
Yeah.
You'll be driving off the road unless you can get some more chips
Where am I going to get chips at 10 o'clock at night?
anywhere. I think.
Like, it'll be easier to name places you can't.
Yeah.
A bank? Don't go to a bank.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Dairy Queen? Nope. Not okay.
Yeah. Other than that, you're pretty good.
Anywhere else.
I don't like.
You just start pulling out chips.
I'm not a fan of sour cream and onion. Is that what you said? You
Sour cream and onion.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
I like barbecue and I like regular.
It's probably my third favorite, but I haven't had them for a while. And when I walked in Go-Mart, like,
They just called to you.
yeah, I don't want to stand there and look at all the chips like some fucking dickhead. You know?
I feel like you have seen me do that, and now you're like angrily.
Yeah, just fucking
that
get
out?
some chips, man. So, like, I got chips, I got pepperoni roll, and I bought the pepperoni roll, and then I warmed it up.
Now, what kind of pepperoni roll was it? Where'd you get these from, first of all?
Go-Mart on 7th.
So it was one of those good ass pepperoni rolls.
It was the
from,
smaller they were like $1.99, but it's some homemade pepperoni
That's what I'm
roll.
fucking
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Those are the Hometown Bakery, I think
Yep.
they're called.
Oh yeah.
I got one in a bag over there.
Not for long.
What kind of was it?
Regular. I don't like the hot pepper.
That's what that is over there. So
Okay.
I'm glad.
You can keep it.
Hometown Bakery is what it's called.
But I killed the pepperoni roll. It was a double homicide. I killed the pepperoni roll, and then I killed the sour cream and onion chips. I just threw all the trash out the window. I set it on fire and threw it out the window. And then I stopped the car, went back, took a shit all over it, got back in the car, and then I'm here. It was on your porch.
Well,
Don't go outside.
I'm gonna give you some tips. If you were trying to hide the evidence by burning it, you shouldn't have went back and defecated your DNA onto it.
So mad.
What? It was a crime of
That's
passion.
how I get my anger out.
No, those are amazing, and those basically have so much pepperoni in them.
Yeah.
In them, that it is like whatever animal that comes from. There's 20 of them had to die for that one pepperoni roll.
And when I got here, this is actually a true part of the story. I looked down, there's a piece of pepperoni on my pants. I ate it so fast that a piece fell out of my mouth. Oh, I ate that pepperoni.
Shout out to Hometown Bakery. I think grab that red bag right there. There should be one or two in there. I want to make sure that's what.
Oh shit!
That's fine.
There's a can too, apparently. Yeah, I got the red one. That's the green one.
No, it's called Home Industry Bakery. These people are out of Clarksburg, and
we're not getting paid for this.
We should though, man. Like I am all. If Home Industry Bakery wants to, they're not going to.
No.
But if they want to sponsor this podcast, I am down for that to happen.
Yeah.
When I worked at the gas station, that's when I first found out about them. They brought them in. and they would like just talk shit on the other places that had pepperoni rolls. And the woman that runs it, like, she makes her employees. There's like a minimum amount of pepperoni that they're allowed to put in it. So it's like a minimum of 37 pieces have to go into this pepperoni roll. If they want to put more in, that's fine. But there has to be 37
for $1.99.
For $1.99, and like it's pretty much all pepperoni, and then just like enough bread. Where you get the other ones, even though they're maybe bigger and cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's a loaf of bread with like 2 pieces of
yeah, like long ways to get one after the other.
So Home Industry Bakery is the way to go for your pepperoni rolls.
That's it. That was episode 13.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm a big fan. I love that I have 2 of them in a bag.
We're going to stop so Josh can eat some pepperoni rolls.
Oh, I always go with the hot cheese, though.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
If I ate hot cheese, my shit would be like twice as angry.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. Okay, well, so you've murdered some stuff.
Wait, pee hole.
Pee hole.
We talked about shit. I might as well just talk about pee hole.
That's a good term for pepperoni rolls, is pee holes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, once you take that first bite, you can just look down into the hole of pee.
See?
You don't want to stick pepperoni.
Don't look straight into a pee hole.
No, never.
No matter what kind it is.
What? Don't fall for that.
Yeah,
like
you want
I
to use
have
mirrors
so many
and stuff. Use some mirrors and maybe hang upside down.
What?
I don't know.
Why? What are you doing? Like you're looking into Spider-Man's dick hole?
Maybe.
Spider-Man's dick. That's a callback.
Spider-Man's dick.
What was that? Was that what's going on?
That was what's going on.
Yeah, if you can find that in the I don't think you can find that in the archives.
Yeah. It was a cod piece.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't think it was, man. I think that was all natural.
He had the most symmetrical dick I've ever seen in my life.
That was just his web slinger.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
All right.
So anyways.
Yep.
Let's get into Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, Aaron Hernandez.
Netflix has a new documentary out called The Life and Mind, I think, of Aaron Hernandez. So
I seen it.
I texted you while I was like an episode, like I was like halfway. I was maybe starting the second episode, and I was like, "Hey, dude, watch this." So, and you were like, "I've already watched it."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, so you're good to go." So, do you like before you watched it? Did you pretty much know?
I kind of followed it just because I don't. I check ESPN a couple times a day,
right.
So like each time it would be up, it would make their main headline page. So like I was following along like when he was found guilty, when he was like acquitted of the double murders, and just the suicide in jail and everything.
Yeah, I used to I worked because I was working at the screen printing shop when it happened, and I'd leave ESPN on all day long. And watch from the time I got there till I left. Yeah, and I remember the Aaron Hernandez stuff, but I never even knew about the other murders. Like the two, like just where he pulled up and shot
the Boston guy for spilling a drink on him.
Yeah, supposedly. I didn't remember that. Like I do not remember hearing about that, and I never even thought he got indicted for the first one. Mm-hmm. I always just thought he was suspected of it, and he was sitting in jail waiting for the whatever and killed himself. So I didn't know about a lot of this.
He was in jail for life.
Yeah.
For life. I didn't know about like his upbringing. I just knew he was a dude from Florida, so I was like, yeah, he's a thug. That makes sense.
What, you mean Tim Tebow's buddy? There's a lot of stuff in this. So I took notes the whole time I was watching it. So,
which you do a lot of.
I do a lot of note taking. I really do.
You're just hanging out. You're just taking notes.
I like to what's the word I'm looking for?
Dictate?
Dictate? Yeah.
that would mean you write down everything.
Not a stenographer.
I think it is that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Person in the courtroom?
Probably.
Yeah. I'd be really
now
good
they
at
talk
that.
into like a little mask. And
I saw that. That was in the documentary.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's where
they talk into a little mask and they listen back to their voice later and like type it out.
Weird.
It is.
Because like the entire time you'd be talking as a lawyer, I'd be sitting there going, and then you'll say this, and then
like you talking about me? Like I'd be super paranoid as a lawyer.
I'd be super paranoid about the law as a lawyer.
I can't do
this. I'd be really good at that.
You would be.
So, but like you just, I dead eye look you. Like I look you dead in the eyes the entire time though. I don't know how lawyers do it. So just a few of my notes here. I really, really loved Odin Lloyd's friend with the long hair.
Yeah, that guy was cool.
That dude was badass. Like I feel like that dude.
He was like, man, if we were Aaron Hernandez's friends, you would have never got that far. And just,
right. Like that dude needs to be given TED Talks.
He even like kind of sympathized a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the shit he said was like very like. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
And I really loved Aaron Hernandez's, I guess, lovers
Dad?
Father?
Oh my god, dude. That guy, he talked like a TV character. Just like his expressions, like the way he used his hands.
When he was talking about
You gotta be freaking kidding me!
The guy that was with Aaron's mom's whoever.
Yeah. After his dad died, the guy left Aaron's cousin and got with his mom.
You can't be a 15-year-old boy walking down and seeing that man in his underwear
frying
bacon.
Yeah.
And then he's like turns his head away from the camera and then he's like, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I loved that dude.
They need to give that guy his own show and the guy with the long hair. Just combine them if you have to.
So then there's
I'm glad you talked about him. Oh my god.
He reminded me.
And his son was so like just. He was super funny. Just the way like they both like. I think the son and the dad just need their own show.
Who was Bam Margera's? There was his dad, and then who was the other guy?
Oh, Don Vito.
That's who he kind of reminded me of him a little bit. Just like a little bit more self-aware. But like I imagine that dude's like the life of every cookout.
Yeah.
You probably hate that guy actually.
Gets a couple domestic beers in him.
So the dude that was like I guess he was the dude selling Aaron Hernandez guns and shit. That Aaron ended up shooting in the face.
Yeah, the guy with the glasses in the eye.
Like that. When I first saw that guy, I was like, "What's up with that guy's face?"
Yeah.
And like then when they said what I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Shot in the face.
But that dude also was shot in the dick.
Yeah.
Like and then
that video he shows him like
he's just walking around to get revenge.
Yeah.
What kind of guy?
He like walks back in to shoot people with a bleeding out dick.
He's just like it looks like he's completely unaffected by the whole thing. Like, that dude, then he gets shot in the face. And he's like, no, I'm not going to die from this either.
Yeah.
That's like the most badass human being I've ever seen in my life.
But now he's on Netflix as a freaking witness.
He's a snitch.
Yep.
Let me see. Yeah, most of I think the thing that
I think a lot of people around Aaron Hernandez took shots to the eye. I would say.
Like 90%.
Yeah.
I think the thing most people are going to remember from it is the Potters. When he's asking his girl to bring him some books.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, what do you like want me to, he's like, oh, just some Potters.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't say the Harry Potters. Some Potters.
Oh, you're a gangster.
That was so great. Like, I
liked when they would like put him on the phone with like Maurice Pouncey or something. You could just like
turn into.
Oh my god! Like just listen to that. Like this. You know what? I hate to say poor guy, but I mean just. Be so young, and like when they, they talked about Junior Seau, like how I kind of forgot about Junior Seau, and like you're looking at pictures of Junior Seau with Tom Brady and shit, and just
I have on here. One of the notes is Junior Seau's suicide still fucking hurts, man.
Yeah,
like
he was so good, and he was just that's always smiling, just always.
It's like the one. It's weird, like his suicide, like hit me way harder than, and like I was never even a huge Junior Seau fan.
But how could you you had to like him at least? Like he's like the Kirby Puckett of football or something. There's just it's just like these players are just always smiling, like always, sounds cliche, but playing the game the right way, and just he hit so hard, and just always played so hard, and just to see that how much it affected him.
I completely forgot about his run with the Patriots.
Yeah,
like
finally got a Super Bowl with the Patriots and drove his car off a cliff or something like that, if I remember correctly. Oh no, he shot himself in the chest. Didn't he? Okay, yeah. I thought it was something to do with the
brain.
I could have sworn, maybe not. Maybe he wanted to or something. Maybe that was something else he did, and like he survived. Because I think, I remember like it was something else with him that like he just.
You see, I have here pulling up and shooting total strangers just for like a slight action that you took as disrespectful.
Yeah,
that's probably how I'm going to end up dying. Like I do so much shit where people like I don't give a fuck if you think you're like some thug.
Yeah.
Or like you're just like you just have that like unwarranted fucking ego about you. About like how like I'll see it a lot when I'm in like a gas station or whatever, and the guy in front of me will be being an asshole to the cashier.
Yeah.
And I'll always like say some shit.
Yeah.
And like eventually
it's gonna be the wrong person.
Dudes is just gonna be like, all right, Yeah, so that's gonna happen soon.
Like you're gonna get stabbed in the jugular with like the pin he's signing his credit card report with or something.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I wanted to say that on the podcast. When it happened, you could have a whole new episode.
Okay, yeah.
To be like, I remember when this
I'll
happened.
never be able to do this without you.
You'll never know.
I won't.
This, though.
Like I'll come here and just like tap on the microphones and like try to be like, Siri, start recording. And it won't work.
I don't have. I'll just keep everything.
Can you haunt this place, but like in a way that's helpful to the podcast? You're like, ooh, record.
I'll just keep this recording at all times.
Cool. All right.
So then, yeah,
live.
And then I don't know how to help you get it online, but we'll figure something out. I have here that if I had one wish, it would be to spend the rest of eternity just watching Netflix documentaries about all the crimes that star athletes and celebrities have committed that no one knows about.
It's pretty good.
Imagine all the shit people have done. That like they just have so much money and fame.
Athletes especially.
That they think they can do anything they want. Like there's gotta be just so much out there.
How many hookers has David Spade killed?
Today?
He's probably up to like 4-day habit.
Probably.
How's the Tommy boy, bitch? And just stab it. Look, I would never call a lady that. David Spade.
That was David Spade.
Yes, that was David Spade.
And I quote, David Spade.
I was a Tommy boy B.
Fuck Don Dahler from CBS asking Gronk questions about Hernandez.
Yeah, he's like sitting there with like his dad and all his brothers and
turning
like
to fucking Gronk's dad.
Yeah.
How do you think
he feels?
Dude, fuck that guy, man.
And then he was like, all right, I'll stop.
I would have given anything to watch Gronk just get up and headbutt that motherfucker.
Just tackle him, yeah.
Just fucking hurt. Like, yeah, I thought that was really shitty. And then even more of a fuck you goes out to the Kirk and Callahan show and that Michelle McPhee. They're the reason Aaron Hernandez killed himself.
Oh, because they outed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah.
2 days later, he kills himself.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So
man.
I have no idea how they didn't face any kind of.
Like just because he's like, and I kind of joked about at the beginning. I should have, but I mean, it's just this in a
documentary. This is 2 days after it happened.
Yeah,
or this is while this is all happening.
Yeah,
and like this is on a.
It doesn't change the story. None of those guys were his lover. It's not like any. It was just. I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I also just don't think.
See, I don't know how it came out. I'd like to, by the time it got to me, I just heard about the jailhouse lover, and I was like, "What? Who gives?"
I never even knew about that part until I watched the documentary. But for them to like, not only did they out him, but then to do it in a way
tight
that was
end,
like just fucking.
Now he's a wide receiver, and just really
disrespectful to like the community,
especially when you find out what could have probably happened to him. I mean, not that, but I mean, he was probably assaulted as a child, and like it's just.
Yeah. And then the ending of the documentary.
God, he was a good football player, though.
I have something in here about how him and Gronk.
Like that's so hard to like try to reckon in your brain, like you're like watching them do all this terrible shit, but then they'll show like something on the football field. You're like, God damn, man,
dude! Like watch football right now. The entire style of offense is based off of what Gronk and Hernandez did.
Yeah.
I mean, because of Belichick's schemes shit. But
I mean, look at the two teams playing in the Super Bowl, Chiefs and the 49ers.
A tight end that can fucking catch the ball and run with it.
Yeah, can block.
Throw it to him.
Physical.
Can block if they need to.
Big guy, yeah.
That's how you win football now. Like, you get a good defense and you have a good tight end. That's it. You don't need a fucking wide receiver anymore. The running back is helpful, but Derrick Henry was only he only do so much.
They said he played a whole year after killing 2 people. What the fuck?
Yeah, he killed somebody and probably played they said the next
whole year
Sunday. I think it was like he'd or that later that month, something just insane. The documentary ends. The very last thing that is said is the operator on the phone saying the person you called has hung up. And I feel like that was a bit insensitive.
Oh, because
right after he hung himself. Yeah, those are my Aaron Hernandez documentary notes.
And they tried to say maybe he did it so his girlfriend, which he did write her a letter saying he's rich, she's gonna be rich and shit. But I think a lot of it is his whole I can't imagine unlike his former teammate, the guy that came out of the closet talking about it.
Yeah,
I just can't imagine not being able to control the way that information comes out. I'm a private person with anything. I don't Like, obviously here on stage, I joke and shit like that, but I mean, like, I wouldn't anything about, like, just private
Dude,
life.
I don't like people knowing where I live.
Yeah.
Like, it freaks me out.
I'm picked up at my house, bag is thrown over my head, and I am manhandled to here. And I don't even know. I could be 70 feet underground, or I could be like 70 floors in the sky. I have no idea.
We might have just circled the block, and this is actually your basement.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't... So, I definitely think that he killed himself because he was outed.
Yeah.
And I think that he knew, like, the letter where he says, if you kill yourself, or if you die while you're in jail, you still get paid, or whatever it is.
They drop the charges, or
I feel like he just knew that, so he threw that in there.
Yeah.
But I think the reason he killed himself is because he got outed.
Yeah.
But, like, the documentary was really entertaining and good. But, like, they just threw so much shit at the wall.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, well, he did
I don't think it needed to be 3 episodes of, like, an hour long each.
I felt like they had about an hour of content.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, well, he also smokes weed. So let's talk about how much he smokes weed.
Yeah.
That might have been why he did it.
Yep.
And then, he was secretly gay.
I've shot so many people.
So
I get so high, I'm just like, man, I'm going to shoot some motherfuckers. Right.
So I feel like, I mean...
And then the dad, as entertaining as that was, no one gives a fuck what that guy's like comment. Yeah. I feel like they put it in there because they just want to show people like what a freaking...
Right. I mean, you have to put that guy's shit in there. Like, that dude's giving you gold. Yeah, I just feel like he thought he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Why would you not? Like,
it's not like he shot a person in Florida when he was there, didn't get in trouble. I mean, they're like, hey, why don't you go ahead and go pro and start making millions? And
you're pretty much told from the day you start playing football that you're better than everyone else on the field.
Yeah.
Your father is respected by the community, even though he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, you see the shitty stuff he does, but he's still loved by everybody.
Yeah, because he's stern and he's...
Then, you go to Florida, where no one knows you there, and you get to be whoever you want.
Starts getting tattoos.
And you get to be one of the best football players in the country.
Yeah, started a freshman.
Then you go to the New England fucking Patriots. Yeah, I feel like he just...
They said that. They're like, they wish he would have got drafted anywhere else.
Yeah, I feel like he just was like, I can do whatever I want. I'll get away with it. I'm me. So, yeah, like all the shit where they were like, he smoked pot, he was gay, maybe.
I can see the pot making him super paranoid. And that's why he had the 2 dudes around him.
I mean, at a certain point, I think that all kind of like starts
that fucked him because he has the cameras and shit like everywhere. So, yeah.
Right. And then, he probably did think that the one dude he shot in the fucking face was going to come back and try to... I mean, that's...
Do you think he's still... Like, I imagine that conversation. He's like, think he's still mad?
Think he's still mad about that?
Does he think about it?
We're probably cool, right?
Dude, that was like a month ago, Man. I've shot so many other people since then.
He had 2 eyes. How many eyes does that guy need? And then, like, did you see... So when they say in the courtroom they bring in Robert Kraft?
Yeah, like, just him kept looking over his shoulder.
Back, like, I feel like...
That was the most vulnerable fucking shit.
Dude, he hears Robert Kraft's name, and I think in his head, Robert Kraft is here to be like, oh, hey, he's good. He didn't do it. Let's go. Yeah. Like, I felt like
he kept looking like, oh, my God, is he going to be mad at me?
I don't think he was mad. I think he honestly was like, oh, fuck, there's Robert. Yeah. I'm out of here. Like, I think in his mind... That's the world he lived in, like the world of like you can do whatever you want.
Out. Yeah, he kept talking on the phone like, "I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out." This is just training camp, and like he tried to train his mind. And
I feel like he would have stayed in prison
for a long time. I don't know.
If it wasn't for being outed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was. He
probably would have asked for a retrial, and
he didn't get charged though too.
Yeah.
Like the 2 in Florida.
Yeah, he got dismissed of
or
that.
Boston. Was it Boston?
Yeah, it was Boston.
Where he rolls up and shoots 2 people. Yep. Yeah, that he didn't get indicted for that. So I feel like retrial. There really wasn't a
They have no weapon.
Ton of evidence.
No, they have no weapon. They don't know who shot who and anything like that. And
so I feel like he could have probably had a chance.
Yeah. So he definitely would have never played football again.
No.
I mean,
I don't know. He's really good.
XFL maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they're still thinking about bringing Antonio Brown onto a team. I know he hasn't murdered anybody.
They call me He Shoot Me.
Antonio Brown will kill somebody.
He was just arrested.
Yeah, for assault.
Yeah, like a delivery driver or something.
Fucking dude. He'll still be in the NFL at some point though.
As long as he can catch a ball.
He's so good, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
the crazy story.
The documentary is the main reason I even keep Netflix. Just So much good shit.
There is.
But okay, so we go from
enough murder. Let's talk about murder.
So, Joel, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a ghost?
I think I have.
You think you have?
I think I lived in when I lived in South Carolina. Like I had some memory as a child.
A lot of ghosts down there.
Yeah. Well, the house that we lived in, my a young girl died when she lived there, and apparently she was like best friends with people who lived across the street, and like there was some weird stuff that happened in there. And like I could have sworn one time I was walking down the hall and I thought I saw like somebody out a window, but I don't know. I was a little kid and my head was filled with like ghost stories and shit about this house I lived in. So yeah, I don't know. I saw a couple
ghosts in North Carolina. I think it's just the Carolinas.
Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
Haunted.
Well, I've seen that Patrick Swayze movie.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, and Bustin' does feel good.
That's a different kind of busting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole different. There's ectoplasm, but. So there's a local legend though in Logan County, West Virginia, that the ghost of Mamie Thurman can still be seen walking the hills on 22 Mountain.
I'm sorry, Mamie?
Mamie Thurman.
Mamie Thurman.
M-A-M-I-E. Mamie.
It's like Amy, but was it?
You ready?
We got to name her.
You ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get into the story of Mamie Thurman. So Mamie Thurman and her husband Jack, 16 years her senior, moved from Kentucky to West Virginia in 1924.
Lateral move.
31-year-old Mamie and 48-year-old Jack lived in a 2-room garage apartment behind Harry Robertson's house on Stratton Street.
Okay.
Harry
Did you
Robertson.
give a year for this?
What is it?
Did you give a year?
This is, let me see, they moved in 1924.
Okay.
When was the year for this? 1932.
Okay.
Yeah. Harry Robertson was a prominent figure in the city, a sportsman, a politician, the treasurer of the Logan Public Library, and a banker. Robertson had gotten Jack Thurman a job as a Logan City patrolman. Mamie and Jack were very involved in the community and the church, but there were always small-town rumors going around about Mamie being involved with various local businessmen in town. It was said that Jack didn't make much money. His behavior suited his age, so he was, he was 40... What was 48?
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. And Mamie basically was just bored. So the gossip mill churned out stories about Mamie being fast and loose.
Ooh.
Spending her time in local speakeasies, drinking too much, and engaging in sexual relations with multiple married men.
Oof.
Mamie was a player.
Mamie was getting round.
On June 22nd, 1932, the corpse of Mamie Thurman was found where it had been dumped on 22 Mountain, which was called Trace Mountain at the time. The body was found by a young deaf mute named Garland Davis while he was out picking blackberries.
Holy shit.
I love, there's a lot. When you go back and, read old stories, from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s even.
Yeah.
There's always a deaf mute. I don't know why you would point that out. Why is that an important part of this story?
Well,
I included it because it was included.
He sounds like an awful witness, to be honest with you.
So, yeah, this young boy named, young man named Garland Davis found the body. Mamie had 2 gunshots to her head, her throat was slashed open, her neck was broken, and her face was severely disfigured.
Sounds a little personal.
A little bit. She still had on her diamonds and silver wedding ring, and money was found in her purse. So it had not been a robbery gone wrong. It was definitely a crime of passion.
Maybe they killed her, felt bad, and then gave her all that
gave
crap.
Her that stuff. She never it wasn't even hers. That was nice of them.
In case she does wake up.
Her neck's... Yeah, that's a lot of blood.
I broke it. I cut it. Shot her. Oh, man.
But hey, I'm not a dick.
Yeah.
Just the off chance she comes
Here's some cab money.
Here's a diamond.
Clean yourself up, kid. Sorry.
Flips a nickel on her. A wooden nickel. Harry Robertson and his handyman, Clarence Stevenson, were both arrested and taken in for questioning. Stevenson was 29, a Tennessee native who had lived in Logan County for 9 years, working in the mines before being employed by the Robertson family. He had never been married and lived in the Robertsons' attic.
A deaf mute and a mime?
So the deaf mute was just the guy that found her.
I meant to say mime. I fucked it up. He worked in a mine. Erase that part.
And, spoiler alert, he was black.
Okay. That's just basic information.
So that's going to come back into play.
Okay.
Harry Robertson admitted that he had been having an affair with Mamie. He would tell his wife he was going fox hunting, and then Stevenson would drive him out to a rendezvous point.
He was hunting some fox.
Where he and Mamie would do their thing.
Call me Mamie.
Hunt foxes together.
Yeah.
Stop. State troopers searched the home of Harry Robertson and found several blood-stained rags in the basement.
Ooh.
Several spots. Oh, this next sentence, I fucked it up so bad. The way I wrote it. Several spots in the basement that were believed to be blood showed evidence of attempted removal.
Oh, so
that was a terrible sentence by me.
Yeah, but they could tell that he tried to clean up some blood spots.
Yeah, that was a much better way to say it. Yeah. At the time, courts refused to admit blood tests into evidence. So even though a chemist identified the stains as blood, it didn't matter.
What a fucking time, man. You're just living in the dark. They didn't have that in the Bible, god darn it.
Yeah.
Take your blood magic and get out of here.
It's crazy that just because then DNA evidence started becoming a thing like
70s, right? I would guess
70s or 80s.
Yeah, around then.
So, it wasn't that long considering. But just a few years before, it was like, damn, it doesn't fucking matter.
Was there blood?
That could be anybody's
blood.
What's
blood gonna tell us? Yeah,
who doesn't have a basement full of blood? A razor was also found, and a hole in the wall was found that appeared to be made by a bullet, which was weird because, they do say so they put that in there, and I do joke about how they were like, well, the bloodstains don't matter, but if that's his house. And he would usually meet her in secret rendezvous points. Why would they
go back to his house?
That would be where the murder occurred,
Not unless it was something completely
like she shows up and she.
If that was where a murder happened, all that stuff, there would have to be more evidence than that. I would think of trying to get the body out.
Right, you would think so. So bloodstains were also found on the window, fender, and seat of Robertson's Ford sedan. The vehicle was mostly used to transport hunting dogs back and forth between hunting trips and had been modified to have the back seat removed and a 6 by 8 foot tarp covered the back from the back of the front seats to the rear of the car, and curtains had been hung on the doors blocking out the windows. Mamie's body was found about a mile from Robertson's hunting cabin. Harry Robertson... So Harry and Clarence were both arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Robertson was released on a $10,000 bond on June 27th. Clarence Robertson remained in jail.
Yeah.
So, funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
They
let the rich white guy out?
You would never...
Can you play a record so I can scratch the needle all the way across it?
I mean, it was just, things like that would never happen today.
No.
Never. On July 5th, Judge James Dameron.
Okay.
I mostly added this section in because of ASW's promoter, Gary Dameron. Okay. And I just wonder if they're related.
Logan County, West Virginia.
It's the same, pretty much, same area within an hour or so. But yeah, Judge James...
Does it say anything about this guy liking Royal Rumbles?
It doesn't say anything about this guy's love of professional wrestling, so I just don't know.
We don't know that.
But Judge James Dameron joined L.P. Hager and Emmett Skaggs as the third attorney for the prosecution.
I say.
I say, boy.
Blood in the basement.
He did so for free of charge. He was from Huntington and was one of West Virginia's most distinguished criminal lawyers and judges. He said he believed the perpetrators of the foul and damnable murder...
I say,
boy. This crime is... The perpetrators of the foul and damnable murder should be apprehended and brought to justice for the sake of the good name of Logan County, I say.
He's dabbing off a handkerchief off his brow. He's just getting so into it.
From the Williamson jail, Clarence Stevenson wrote a letter to his sister stating that he would die before he would lie on Mr. Robertson or his wife, and ask his sister to ask Mrs. Robertson to stand up and help him and Mr. Harry and to tell her that he would not do anything to hurt her or Mr. Harry. He said he knew this was going to be hard to get through for everyone, but that the police didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Assistant Prosecutor Emmett Scruggs described Mamie as Logan's most popular woman.
Oh.
And said that people were more interested in a scandal than finding out who really murdered her.
Lord, ain't that the truth?
Scruggs stated that the murder carried an extreme penalty, but adultery was only a misdemeanor. So right off the bat, even the prosecutors were basically watching out for Harry Robertson.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy trying to find her murderer, and he's like, well, first of all, she's a very popular woman. She gets around.
Yeah.
And, and then he's like...
Who else? I bet there's other people with blood in their basement.
And then he's like, you're all just more interested in making this a scandal than you know. So he's like basically giving Harry Robertson like a pass.
Yeah. Well, he is rich and white.
Right.
Okay, I don't know how many times I have to keep telling you that.
Skaggs convinced the county court to offer a $1,000 reward for any new evidence that would lead to a conviction. Quickly, a man named Oscar Townsend, who had rented a room from the Robertsons, informed the police that he had traded a .32 caliber gun to Harry Robertson for a .38 caliber pistol. Oh, excuse me. Police did another search, and this time they found a blood clot underneath the rubber floor mat in Harry's car, which had survived through an attempted cleaning. A knife and a large piece of bloodstained canvas were also found at the Robertsons' home, and they were taken into evidence.
It's like he cleaned some stuff, and he's like, I'm about to leave this blade and knife.
This is good enough. Yeah.
I mean, this is my killing knife. I can't just go throwing it away.
The .38 caliber pistol was suspected to be the gun that killed Mamie, but Harry continued to sleep with it under his pillow at night, and it was just never collected as evidence.
Well, how's he gonna sleep if he take his gun?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he sleeps with it. What are we going to do?
Rich and white.
That's the moral of this story.
Yep. If you're out there listening, just try to be rich and white.
It will really help you in life, just in general.
I don't agree with it.
Rule of thumb.
Yep.
White thumb.
Rich and white since 1932.
Fuck.
Yeah, way before that.
When did everything start?
One.
Since 111.
Since day one, motherfucker.
The jury was mostly made up of associates of
other rich and white men.
Yep, other prominent Logan County citizens. This is great. The judge instructed the jury to indict the responsible parties if there is enough evidence to do so, because that's what the courts expect from them. And because there had been a lot more murders than usual recently, and people needed to understand the value of human life. I love that he's like telling them, his instructions to them are the most fundamental, basic instructions for any trial. If there's enough evidence to say they're guilty, you say they're guilty.
Don't be flipping coins.
And then, look, there's a lot of fucking murders.
It's time.
Put an end to this shit.
Nip it in the bud.
We've been letting it go far too long.
I mean, the judge probably fucked Mamie, so that was the final straw. It's like, man, I use her. Yep, go ahead.
So Harry Robertson took the stand at the grand jury hearing and spoke about his 2-year affair with Mamie. He said they often met at the local Key Club, an establishment where a number of well-known businessmen and their lady friends could meet up, and you had to have a special key to be allowed in. According to Robertson, Mamie provided him with a list of 16 prominent men with which she was having affairs with.
Jesus! That's not something you brag about to like one of your boyfriends.
I think it's weird that she gave him a list. She's like, oh, and here's this.
Okay. Maybe he was like the pimp. He was like, fuck all these people.
What
so
date is that on?
I have dirt on all these motherfuckers. All these Mamie fuckers.
What base is it when you get a list of who they're fucking? Is that like home run double?
Yeah, home run inside the park home run.
He continued seeing her, even though she
normally give a list of like the people who like your what they call it, your fantasy list. Like, well, if I could fuck
your was a hall pass.
Yeah, something like
that, or your whatever.
Yeah, you get 3 choices. She's like, nah, I just fuck these 16.
No, here's
dudes.
the 16 I'm fucking.
Yeah,
you want to be on this list or not? Basically. So she refused to stop seeing the other men, but he kept seeing her. He was like, whatever, I'll deal with it. Clarence Stevenson...
he dealt with it.
He stated that Clarence Stevenson was typically the go-between for Harry and Mamie's meetings, and later Clarence would confirm that he was the one that would typically arrange things. And, after just 4 days, Harry Robertson was not indicted by the grand jury.
Thank goodness.
But Clarence Stevenson was, and would stand trial for the murder of Mamie Thurman.
He's the opposite of Rich and White.
He's the opposite.
Unfortunately for him. I mean, not in this case, in this time.
Yeah, I mean, even now, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to work for you, even now.
Yeah.
You're still fucked. If it's between you or a rich white guy, you're not winning.
Yep, rich white dude. The rich white guy will become president.
During the grand jury hearing, Clarence recounted how when he was being transported from the Logan County jail to the Williamson jail by state police, they went out and isolated a road, and as they're on this road, 2 cars were parked alongside the road, and all of a sudden shots were fired in the direction of Clarence and the cops.
Oh.
The police told him that they thought it was a mob, asked him if he was afraid, and then urged him to tell them everything he knew. Because if he didn't, it was much more likely that he'd be taken away by this mob.
Well, let him.
So he apparently just said that, if you expect this to be my admission of guilt because of fear for death, he's like, that I won't admit to anything I didn't do.
Hell yeah.
So, during Stevenson's trial, so then the trial starts. So the grand jury's indicted him. They've let Harry Robertson go. So now we're at, this is during Clarence Stevenson's trial. Jack Thurman, the husband,
48.
testified, 48.
Just old as shit.
Testified that he
just
had
got
never,
up there with his walker.
I don't know how quick they got into all of this, so he was possibly still 48, maybe even 50 at this time.
Yeah.
So, death's door, 1932, death's door.
Yeah.
Technically. I mean, he's not living much longer.
Him and his limp dick up there on the stand.
I didn't say anything about his limp dick.
Well, why do you think what's her name?
Mamie.
Mamie has a list of 17 dudes she's fucking.
No, 16. She was...
I thought
Harry was
Harry was 17.
He might have been on that list.
Oh,
he was like, how bad do you want on there?
Yeah.
Jack testified that he never suspected Mamie of having an affair and that she was the perfect wife.
That poor bastard. Are you picking these stories on purpose? Are you just trying to go ahead? What Jack said?
They never fought.
They never fought.
And they had a perfect marriage.
Perfect. As far as he knew.
The newspaper would describe him as a pitiful man.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
I knew. Because you were looking at me like, what'd they say?
Because they never fought. And it was a perfect marriage.
I mean, this dude's, there's not a whole lot to tie him to, the murder. There's, not a lot of... Not many people suspect him.
Do you save that clip? Do you clip that out of the newspaper?
But, come on, man. You didn't suspect anything.
Yeah.
Dude, you're almost 50. She, pictures of this shit were hard to find. I didn't even save anything. You could barely see.
Yeah.
But from, the pictures that were available, she was probably pretty fucking attractive back. She was... and that...
And he was 48.
In Logan County, Australia.
Yeah.
She was fucking...
and he was a pitiful man.
He was, he's just some dude that...
Record show!
There was a weird thing where he... because he, as soon as this all happened, he moved back to Kentucky. And then there was a weird thing where he randomly showed up to where Mamie's 2 sisters lived. And, just said, hey, sorry for your loss, and gave them each $2. At the time was not bad money. I mean, it would have been 50. I mean, still
yeah.
But he was just oh, hey guys.
I wonder if he did it. Then.
Sorry,
maybe he did. Maybe
$2.
he found the list.
I don't. Yeah.
I say if you have an affair, don't keep lists.
Don't keep a list.
I feel like that's evidence.
There's not a whole lot though that he was for this was one of the cases where the husband really wasn't.
Yeah, he probably had an alibi.
I just don't think he really gave a shit. To be honest with you, he says that they never fought. It was a perfect marriage, but I just don't think he gave a fuck either way.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to fight a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
And then they could have worked
They
could have worked on each other, and she wouldn't be fucking 16 dudes.
17.
17, possibly.
Mrs. Robertson testified that she knew about the affair and had known about it without anyone telling her. She just figured it out herself.
Yeah, keeps Harry out of her. She's happy.
She said she had hate towards Mamie, but there was no use to be mad about it, and she accounted for Harry's whereabouts the days surrounding the murder and backed up his alibis. So she's, kind of the same thing as Jack, where she's just like, what the fuck ever, guys. Yeah. Like, Harry Robertson.
She's a rich white lady. She don't want to lose all that.
Now we get back to old Harry.
Okay.
He used his testimony time as a chance to go into details about the affair and just brag about it. He made it a point.
She sucked my...
He made it a point to mention the list a couple times. Just, Clarence Steven or a few men testified during the trial that they had witnessed Clarence Stevenson driving Robertson's Ford sedan very early in the morning as they walked home from work the day Mamie's body was found. And then a Logan County police chief testified that as he and a patrolman were out doing their rounds, he saw Clarence cleaning out the inside of the sedan the evening that her body was found. That's before,
kind of his job, though, too, to drive the car and clean it, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like the whole... during the trial, pretty much through witness accounts, pretty much every single minute of Clarence's whereabouts that day and like the day prior and the day after were known. So there was like...
I feel like that would take a lot of time to...
Well, it was just like strange that there was always somebody that knew what he was doing. Like they always had somebody that knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And suddenly saw him doing this and saw him doing that, and they couldn't remember anything else about anybody else.
And Clarence was doing.
So just before the trial was over, just minutes before the trial was over, anonymous notes addressed to the prosecutor were found. They were signed either as a voter or a citizen, and claimed that Stevenson was being scapegoated, and that there were people at the trial who had witnessed firsthand who Mamie had gotten into a car with before she was murdered, but they were allowing an innocent man to be charged with the crime. The notes were dismissed as nothing of relevance.
As notes.
These have nothing to do with this trial, about this murder. The jury deliberated for 50 minutes.
Well, took their time.
It's not good sign.
No.
Before returning with a guilty verdict and the recommendation of a life sentence. Stevenson's attorney immediately requested a new trial, but the judge said it wasn't necessary. He said
we're satisfied.
He said that he did not feel there was anything that could be brought to the jury's attention that wasn't already, and there was nothing that could be found that would prove differently. So, just no need.
We saw him driving pretty early.
Like, apparently back then you couldn't do the whole appeal. Like, you couldn't really. Yeah. It wasn't that easy. Nowadays.
Yeah, you get a retrial.
Like, you get 60 appeals. Like, whatever. You're not guilty till you're dead, basically. Stevenson died in the Huttonsville prison farm, of stomach cancer on April 24th, 1942.
Oh, man.
He was buried almost 10 years after the death of Mamie Thurman to the day. Mamie's funeral, back 10 years before, was attended by 550 women and only 30 men.
Jeez.
Which you gotta assume 16 of those were people she knew. The Reverend...
In a biblical sense.
Speaking of biblicals, the Reverend didn't deliver a sermon, but instead read a Bible scripture that told of a woman who was brought before Jesus. She had been caught in the act of adultery. The people wanted to stone her to death, but Jesus asked anyone without sin to cast the first stone. All of her accusers left, and no stones were thrown. Jesus didn't condemn her, but told her to sin no more. The Reverend finished the story, paused, and then told the crowd to develop their own sermon. So this guy's like, I'm not having, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
You'd figure out your own shit. Like, he's just...
None of y'all are perfect.
Here's some shit. Yeah, you'd figure it out.
Such a brutal death. Jesus
A
Christ.
prisoner who spent time with Clarence Stevenson in jail stated that Stevenson told him that he was hired to take the body up the mountain, but he didn't do anything to Mamie to harm her. He wouldn't say who killed her, but said that the whole thing happened because of politics. The whereabouts of Mamie's body now are unknown. Nobody knows where she was buried. I believe her brother or somebody, like some relative, years later, arrived into town and wanted to put a new headstone up on her grave, and everybody was like, we don't know what happened.
And now on some nights, you can hear her walking back and forth looking for that dick.
So people say, to this day, there are times when if you go up the 22 Mountain, there's a thing I saw that I didn't know that was connected to this, but there's a thing I saw a long time ago where there's a place in West Virginia that they say if you park your car, that it's like kind of like an uphill thing. Like there's like a little slant up to the road. If you park your car and turn it off, or put it in a neutral, I forget how it's done.
It'll go up the hill?
It'll start going up the hill.
Yeah, I think...
It's been proven that it's actually some sort of like illusion. It's like an illusion of some sort.
I did see something about
that. To
the
grade of the road.
Yeah.
But that's where that happens.
Oh, okay.
Is where she was supposedly died. So they say it's Mamie pushing her, which is like a weird thing for a ghost to do. Be like, well, roll it up her sleeve.
Yeah.
Got another one.
Ain't no one else gonna kill me 17 times.
So, yeah.
17, but
I
feel like they just killed her over and over again, basically. Like, they killed her 4 or 5 times.
Broke her neck,
shot her, stabbed her, cut her throat, yeah.
My guess is...
Bunch of wives got together and...
No, I think that she was about to...
unleash the list?
I think somebody thought she was about to stir some shit.
Yeah.
And...
if you're keeping a list, you're a shit stirrer.
I think a few people got to Harry and basically told him, you need to do something about this shit.
Yeah.
And he did something about that shit. Or a few of them did. And then they had Clarence get rid of the body.
Oh, Clarence just yes man. He's a pleaser.
Yeah. So.
But where was Aaron Hernandez during all this?
Well, that's the real question you got to ask.
Is this why we're connecting all this together?
Yes. So the bombshell I haven't dropped yet is that the ghost of Aaron Hernandez time traveled.
With Hitler.
My theory about all murders is time travel.
It has to be time travel.
In some way. So yeah, that's our second West Virginia murder.
Yep.
There's a few. I got a few more we'll get into at some point.
I like that one.
Yeah. So the ghost of Mamie Thurman. So if you ever in Logan County,
Call me Mamie. That's all I know of that song.
That's yeah.
Bum 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 ding ding ding. Bum 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 bum. Call me Mamie.
That sounds a lot like the McDonald's theme too. I
think. It does.
All right, man. So you got anything?
I do. Since I didn't do the plot this time because we talked about the Aaron Hernandez, so I figured, too much TV just gonna make us dumb.
Right, it happens.
Yeah. So what I did, I found an idea of a
quick.
Oh, okay.
Just a dumb aside, and we'll get right back to this. But I posted a thing where I got that movie, The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it, I'll give it to you. You can take it home and watch it. I don't know if you will like it or not. It's like all black and white.
I've seen the previews. I'll watch it.
Okay, I'll give it to you before you leave.
Cool.
It's maybe my favorite fucking movie ever.
It's just 2 people, right? Is it just Robert Pattinson?
Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it next.
All right, cool.
Anyways, sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're good. So I saw an idea on a podcast that I wanted to steal, and it was your mom's house where they do Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Or... Yeah, so I wrote 4 of them specifically for you.
Oh, God.
And we're going to have a little fun with it.
They're the fucking...
All right, so the first one.
Things on your mom's house.
While working out, or would you rather, while working out, only be able to drink Bud Light, or when you're sick, only be able to drink Natty Light?
Oh, so...
Either way, you're fucked, but which way would you
rather drink Bud Light while you're working out?
Yep. Or when you're sick, the only thing you can drink is Natty Light.
Is Natty Light.
You're getting water both times.
You're getting a lot of water.
So that's good.
Well, so I feel like I'm going to have to say I'll crush a few cans of Bud Light in between sets, man.
I think that's where I would go.
Yeah.
Could you imagine not feeling good and be like, all right, bring me another Natty Light?
You're going to get better by drinking Natty Light.
That's why you're sick. You drink too much Natty Light.
I mean, that shit will just clean you out.
Yeah,
so
that's
I don't
true,
know,
too.
But I think I'll go with
the Bud Light
sets. Just boom, hydrate.
All right, that was a good one. That's how it's done. This is the second one. Number 2.
Okay.
Take a belly-to-belly overhead suplex from Scott Steiner in the year of our Lord 2020, or safely secure yourself into your vehicle and drive head-on to a brick wall at 15 miles per hour. Scott Steiner, for those, if you're listening, you don't know wrestling, he's 60-something on NWA now, throwing suplexes, and just...
So take one from him, like, today?
Today. Scott Steiner today, 60, however years old... Belly-to-belly overhead suplex.
Yeah, I would, if you ask, so today, Scott Steiner, I would take one today from him, because now he needs, like, your help with it, kind of. Like, you would have to kind of, like, jump for him and all that shit.
You'd have to jump a lot.
If you had asked, like, the late 80s, early 90s Scott Steiner.
He'd be like, hey, we're going for a ride.
Fucking brick wall all day, because the brick wall would be more forgiving than Scott Steiner. Yeah, he would just grab me and throw me.
So you think he's safer? I guess that does make sense. Yeah. He's probably safer now.
Yeah, you have to.
Because back then, he wouldn't
need your
It didn't matter, yeah.
No, he's just
Rick especially. I think Rick was probably worse back in the day, yeah. Yep. Or they were right there.
Both of them.
Yeah, okay.
Just fucking grab you and do what they want.
I thought you would have done the car 15 miles per hour.
I'd have to help Scott a lot.
Okay.
Probably not a lot. The dude's still pretty
Let's find out. Big. Scott Steiner, if you're listening.
Fucking Lockhart from,
Lockhart, yeah.
Whatever. He really wants to work Scott Steiner. Like, that's his dream match.
Oh.
So we might be trying to make that happen.
Oh, my God.
Stay tuned for
I would love that.
Spoiler alert for a future Inception
We'd have to do the photo where, like, I'm going to get down on all four and he'll get behind me and put his hand on my shoulder, you know?
He's apparently, like, into doing some cool shit now. Like, he did the match with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. That was a decent match.
He's been doing some shit now.
He did some stuff on NWA.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That was a good one, right? Yeah. All right. Number 3. The only music you can ever listen to is your least favorite album by your favorite artist.
Right.
Or the only thing you can ever watch on TV, stream on the internet, etc., is Schindler's List. Since you love Schindler's List so much.
But Jesus Christ, only watching... I'd definitely just take even my least favorite album by Lucero is still one of my favorite albums.
See, I thought that was a weak one.
Yeah.
That was a weak one. I let you out
Schindler's List
there.
over, like... if you're, like, wanting to go into a... I wonder how long you could make it before you just fucking killed yourself.
Just not even every day, but just every time you want to watch something. You're like, all right, well, I just want to try to fall asleep to something.
Yeah.
Just fucking Schindler's List.
This depressing-ass fucking movie again. All right,
so
last one.
Okay, this is number 4. Be me for a day, Joel, or be a steaming pile of horse shit.
Jesus Christ. I'd be you for a day, buddy.
Oh.
You got jokes you're coming up with.
Yeah.
You're eating pepperoni rolls.
Yep.
I don't like the sour cream chips thing very much, but I could change that about you.
Yeah, still no. A steaming pile of shit. I made you laugh with a bit I told you.
You're smoking.
Yeah.
You're smoking the blunt. You're wearing cool shirts with records on them.
Smoking the blunts.
Yeah.
I wore a sports jacket on stage.
I saw that. I was impressed.
You know what joke I led with?
Booze in it.
I said this is part of my wedding attire. So no matter how bad it goes tonight, it'll only be the second worst thing that's ever happened to me while wearing it. And boy, did I get laughs.
Hey,
it's laughs.
That's the purpose, right?
Yeah, people laughed.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
We'll have to do that more.
Yeah, would you rather?
Yeah, I did not expect the a Scott Steiner question.
I saw him on NWA Power, and I was like, God damn, that guy is still overhead belly-to-belly suplexing people.
Oh, God. Dude, watching him... Like, when we did the Figure Forecast podcast...
Yeah, I listened to all those, too.
Just going back and watching, like, the Steiner brothers are fucking terrifying.
That shit they did in Cactus Jack, remember when you hit him over the head with that pool cue?
They just don't give a shit.
You're in the ring with them. It's just like, yeah, it's like you signed your...
There's the match they have against Arn and Ole, and it's a GIF. Like, you can find a GIF of it on Twitter, too. But, like, Scott's trying to do something with Ole, and Ole, like, basically, like, just fucking punches him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he wants to do whatever the fuck's about to happen. And Steiner just, like, shakes that off, fucking grabs Ole Anderson, and just throws him like he's a child.
Ole Anderson.
Ole fucking Anderson.
A man.
Yeah, like a man's man.
I would strap myself into a car and drive it head on to a brick wall.
For that
But I've never taken any kind of suplex. Hip toss, maybe.
I mean, it depends too. Like, does Scott Steiner like you? Because especially back then, does he like you? If he likes you, he's probably going to make sure he throws you enough to get flat, your back.
Yeah. There's on the world famous flea market. It's a YouTube show. Yeah. They have the match as Van Vader and Scott Steiner against two jobbers at a Juggalo show, and it is just. I mean, I don't know how. I'm sure it didn't take much to talk to. Oh, I get to wrestle Van Vader and Scott Steiner. Like, I can't believe these two guys just keep going back for more. I mean, the liberties took in that match because this is probably. Obviously, 2000. So I mean, it's past both of their prime.
Scott was a real dick.
Yeah. And they're just working. If you haven't seen that match,
I'll find it.
Yeah, they have it on YouTube without the commentary. But I just like there's two guys with commentary and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't trust Scott Steiner.
So
I'm a big fan. I wouldn't want to be in the ring with him.
You know the Steiner screwdriver?
Yeah.
So do you know about the first time you ever hit that in the ring?
Was it an accident, like the DDT or something?
Wasn't an accident.
Oh,
he
wanted to kill somebody.
No, he
accidentally didn't kill him.
He had thought about doing the move, like he had thought about it or whatever, but hadn't talked about it with anything, like with anybody. And he grabs. I think he was working in Japan, and he grabs the dude and he tells him, like he calls the spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you for a suplex.
And the guy, of course, is like, "What are we doing?" And next thing the guy knows, he's upside down. And then instead of like how Scott started like sitting out with it, to kind of protect you, Scott just fucking like let go of the dude and sat down. So the dude just like neck first.
Oh my
top
god!
Of his head. That's how he hit. That's how he hit it for like the first few times. He would just fucking get.
That's my favorite move in that
first. Just drop you
in Nintendo 64 WCW
Revenge
game. Yep,
dude, that was
whatever one that was. I was a Steiner Brothers, and I would usually be like, "That's." I hated their gear then. That's when they wore like the shiny, gray and red gear. They went through so many,
like the latex.
Yeah.
Man,
we could talk pepperoni rolls and the Steiner Brothers forever.
Let's just change podcast.
Yeah, again.
All right, so we'll be back next week.
Yeah,
and we'll
have two mics.
Two mics.
Let's change our names to Mike.
Mike and Mike.
Yeah,
we'll definitely do that.
That has a ring to it. Mike and Mike. Mike and Mike in the murdering.
That's a lot of M's.
In the murdering.
Triple M. We're gonna we have a new logo.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I really just like that logo.
Do you?
I do. I kind of like. I'd still. We've been talking to our buddy Travis.
Yeah.
And he's working on a logo for us. But like for the time being, and I'm not in a rush. I love the more I've looked at it. And seen it like pop up as our icon and stuff.
Yeah, it's just it's on a poster doing at work. It's so a tombstone ridiculous. With two stick guys sitting on either side, and there's microphones coming out of the tombstone.
Yeah, I described to Joel what I wanted our logo to be, which would be a tombstone with like R.I.P. and then if we
maybe
want to, middle, and then like both of us like sitting on either side of it with our backs against it, and then and then you added you said two microphones coming out. And then, I'd be holding a book, reading it to you, reading stories. And then, you sent me, the little drawing. And after we were talking about it, I was like, I'm just going to use that shit.
Yeah, I saw where you said it. I was like, God, that looks really fucking good.
So I do it's grown on me. So we'll eventually have a new logo, but we'll be back next week with
DIY.
More murder.
Yep.
And whatever else we fucking decide. Lighthouse. We want to talk about the Lighthouse.
Yeah, I'll watch it by next week.
And I think that's it for now.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening. As always, please share and like. Let us know what you thought of the episode.
Please.
If you have any suggestions for good stories that you know about, let me know, and I will shoot me a message. However you want to do it without Joel.
Be like my parents when I was younger and just don't talk about it in front of me.
Right. I feel like that's the best way to handle it.
Don't let Joel know, you guys, okay?
Yeah.
I gotta concentrate on my grades.
I'll figure out how to break it to you later.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.